Welcome back to Framing the Force. Before the break, we discussed our thoughts on the future of Star Wars, but now we want to bring back a segment that we like to call Thank the Maker. This is where we dive into some of the creatives behind the Star Wars universe and show our appreciation for their efforts and their work. This week, as a farewell to the Acolyte, we wanted to shine a light on Leslye Headland, creator and showrunner of the series. Robbie, what were some of the best elements of the Acolyte that you'll miss and want to thank Leslye for?
I really do want to thank her for her commitment to the EU, or at least to the commitment in bringing little random things in,
Mm-hmm.
like the cortosis.
Yeah,
And
that was the first thing I was going to think of.
we got Plagueis. That was cool. I mean, I wish we didn't at this point, but
Yeah, that's
anyway,
even though
like,
you opened the episode saying you wish
yeah,
that we
no,
had.
that, like, I really wish we didn't, but like, you could tell she was a fan of the EU, and
Hmm.
she liked to borrow from it, and I do appreciate that. I also really appreciate the fact that she brought back some badass lightsaber choreography to our screens,
Yeah,
and she gave us Khmer, gave us a nice red blade on our screen doing work.
yeah.
um, I mean, his entire character design was cool. He was a really fun, I guess, antagonist. I guess
Yeah.
you'd call him. But
Hmm.
just between his Cortosis helmet and bracers, his lightsaber, his little split in two lightsaber,
Oh, such a
just
sick
his
design.
fighting style, and the fact that Manny got to incorporate his heritage towards it, some Filipino fighting elements and moves. I
Hmm.
mean, just she let the actors, do their thing.
Hmm.
She brought in just some cool visuals when they were there. I mean,
Hmm.
um, and she had a respect for what came before it and what is no longer canon, and was like, let me help bring some stuff that the EU fans are of that are the EU fans are fans of within canon. So I do appreciate that. So, and it was fun having someone new run the ship.
Yeah, I agree on all those points. I think that I very much am appreciative of the fact that she wanted to take things in a previously unexplored direction and area. I know, obviously, like she didn't like start the High Republic era, right? It's a
Hmm.
thing that, as we talked about, was in the books and whatnot. But like wanting to bring that to live action and making that translation and exploring that era and taking a look at the Jedi in a way that we haven't seen on screen before, really. Like we do, like obviously the prequels are about their incompetence, right? But like seeing it as like, oh, maybe they kind of are the bad guys, like explicitly in some situations,
Hmm.
I think is a really interesting thing, and I think is really cool that she wanted to bring Star Wars in that direction story wise. I think that like story wise, just taking those swings and being like, okay, we're gonna show the Jedi in this light. We're gonna show another version of people being seduced to the dark side. I remember one of the interviews that I read specifically where she stated that like she very much liked that the emphasis is put on like the dark side seducing you, right? And like that is what it is, and like really exploring it in that way, I think
Literally and
was,
figuratively.
yeah, like I think that that's a really cool thing to do. um and so very much appreciative of that. Bringing the entire like cast together, like getting that, as we talked about at the top, like that diversity in there, and like really pushing that to the front of Star Wars is something that's desperately needed. Like it could use more of that. We could use more people both behind and in front of the camera like that. And so getting to see that and her bringing that to the show, I think is really, into Star Wars in general, I think is really, really cool. Being able to, I mean, just being like a Star Wars showrunner, I can't imagine that job. Like that's so unbelievably intense, so much responsibility, so much to weather, and to deal with, as we've talked about in this episode, just like the amount of hate and everything that comes with that she gets just for being in the position that she's in and being the person that she is, like dealing with that. Just mad respect for that. And yeah, like I as much as, and I even said in this episode, like I didn't love the show, but I think that all of her intentions with it and all of the effort that she put into it, is you can feel it
It
on
was
like
genuine.
Yeah, like yeah, bringing that genuine. What is the genuine? I don't know. I was trying to like think of the like
Authenticity.
bringing that like authenticity.
Make it
Yeah,
easy
I
for
was
you.
trying to make like genuine into authentic, like genuine t. I don't. Yeah,
I feel like
bringing that
you're onto
authentic.
something, but I don't know what the word is.
I feel like there is a word that's like that. But yeah, like bringing that to the show, like you can feel it, and that's really cool. Yeah, just wanting to explore the story in a handful of ways that we haven't really seen before, I think is important and really needed in Star Wars right now, as we've just spent a lot of the last segment talking about, feeling like things are kind of like repetitive and stale and not going in new
Safe.
directions. Yeah, and safe, and like wanting to not be safe, I think is cool. And also having a, you can tell, like you were just saying, that she has a respect for the material, both canon and legends at this point, and like I think it's the right amount of respect without holding it sacred, if that makes sense. Like being
Hmm.
like, this is something that obviously I have a lot of respect for, and a lot of fans have a lot of respect for, but recognizing like, okay, this is also a thing that you don't need to treat like, I can't, break isn't exactly the right word, but like I can't break any of the toys. You know, like sometimes you do need to break some of the toys, you know, to do something interesting or to do something new with the story or whatever the project is going to be. And so I think that she definitely had that attitude when approaching it. And I think that that's something that, again, we desperately need more of to bring it back to the Ryan Johnson thing of it all. Like that's kind of what he was doing with some of the story. And so like that vibe of like, yeah, I love Star Wars and I love the characters and the things that we have established here, but also like we should do something new with it or do something that we haven't seen before with it. And I think she very much brought that. Um, so yeah, I think those are the things that definitely stand out the most to me as far as like her contribution to the show and to Star Wars as a whole. Um, so yeah, again, just a big bummer that we won't be getting a season two.
That was a nice little bombshell, and it was really sudden too because like it was only a month. I mean, yeah, we wanted to know what was going on, but we waited a while for Ahsoka before we got an announcement. So it is what it is. But
Yeah.